Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. Oh boy, we're going to do a good one now. Okay, this video is going to be on statements. Statements that I say and statements that I've heard in other places. And I have to figure out what they're saying. I want to tell you the way I figure these statements are. And the statements I make, I want to further clarify them for you. I want to make sure that you understand where I'm coming from when I make these statements, because people tend to, when I say something, they think it's something different than what I'm saying. So I want to try to clarify different statements. This way it may help you understand some of the videos that I've been making. One thing that I've learned, everybody does what they think is important to them. So that's why it's hard to make people do things. And that's why I try not to even try to make people do things. I mean, if people don't want to do it, they don't see the how they're going to benefit out of it, they're not going to do it. So everybody will only do what they think is important to them. And now you might want to give them money, and then they'll do things, but they're doing it for the money. They're not doing it because it's important to them. The money is important to them. So that has been one of the hardest things for me to learn and grasp the idea. And the thing is, like I say, I'm into health and safety. And like I say, when I tell somebody, you know, you need lots of vitamin C, 6,000 vitamin C a day, or no milk, because milk is hard to digest, and or limit your sugar, you know, whatever it is, they just don't want to do it because it's not important to them. They're not sick yet. So being healthy isn't important to them. What's important to them is that pizza, that ice cream, and you know, that's the kind of stuff that's important to them. So that's what they are going to focus on. They're just going to ignore what I said unless I can convince them it is important to them. And it's the same thing with safety. If you've a lot of people look at me and say, Mike, you make a big thing, you carry a gun, you do all this kind of stuff. You know, that's no big deal. Well, you probably haven't been mugged, or in my case, I've owned businesses, so I am responsible. When people come into my business, they're coming into my business because they think they're safe, and so I protect my patrons, and I've done it all my life. And then, like I say, Vietnam taught me what being safe is all about too. So my personal safety is important to me, and it's much more important to me than most people, and that's because they're not aware of what's going on. They don't have a lifestyle like mine, so you know, they don't understand. That's why it's funny when I have people judging me on my self-defense type stuff, and they stay in their own little safe little world. That's why I say, come join me, stand next to me, and show me why I don't need to be concerned about safety. So, and that's why health is important to me. I can't take care of myself and keep myself safe if I'm not healthy. But like I said, I do exercises. I talked about them. I got a video on what I do. And when it's difficult for me to do my exercises, then it's going to be difficult for me to defend myself. So I try to keep myself in shape, healthy, and prepared to take care of myself. So you need to find out, and I tell people on what's important to you. A lot of people waste their time by focusing on a weakness they have. I say, okay, like for me, my weakness is in the computers. It's hard to believe it's my computers, but because of the books I've written, videos, blogs, a lot of the stuff I do on the computer. But I've had to learn it, but I've only learned it just enough to get the stuff done that I need to get done. And then the rest of my time and skills and abilities, I've focused on what's important to me, and that is the health and safety. And so use your time, resources, and effort into the strengths you have, and make those strengths stronger. And don't worry so much about your weaknesses, but try to make your strengths strong. There'll be times you have to work on your weaknesses, like I said about the computer and me, but try to find out what's really good for you, and focus on it, and it's going to be more natural for you, because people do tend to lean to do what's important to them. So stay focused on what's important to you and try to get the good and make it better. Okay, there's a sign you see. It's kind of all, it's not all over, but it's quite a bit of places, and that is serve and protect. Most of the time you find it on police cars, and boy, I've been trying to figure out what that means. I was running around with the sheriff department in the 70s, and they were really serve and protect. I mean, one thing, the sheriff department is different than police and military. The sheriff is elected, so most of the time they tend to try to do the right thing, and when they're doing the right thing, and that is to serve the general population and to protect the general population. Now, things have changed since the 70s. Now they still have the sign, the serve and protect is still there, but now, well, I'll put it this way. When I was running around with the sheriff department, we looked for bad guys. If you have a tail light out, we'll stop you and we'll profile you. That's how you can tell a good peace officer. He can profile really good, and we'll profile you, and we'll figure out, well, this is a good person, so just get your feel. I just want to let you know your tail light was out. No big deal. Okay. Now, if you stop them and you profile them, and you're thinking, man, there's something wrong with this person, and then you say, can I see your driver's license, and and then registration. And when we say registration, that's because we think you stole the car. So now they do it because if you don't have registration, hey, good, I can give you a ticket. They look, when they stop you now, you did something wrong. I know you did. They got enough laws now that everybody's done something wrong. All they got to do is figure out what you did wrong. Oh, you don't have a seatbelt. It doesn't make any difference. They're going to find that they're really looking for something wrong. And at first I thought it was because of money. The local communities need money, so they want to fine everybody so they get the money. But I think it's went far beyond that. It's all for control now. They want you to get used to doing what you're told, and they want you to realize that they have the authority over you. So, and if you don't understand that they have the authority over you, well, then they're gonna be pushing it, and they're gonna be trying to find something wrong. So then you understand they got the authority over you. So it's turned more into a political game now, so serve and protect. Well, still serve and protect. They serve themselves and they protect one another. Like I say, much of them has the attitude of there's a big zoo here, and we, the people, are the animals, and law enforcement and the agencies are the zookeepers. And in their minds, we would go into chaos. We would not function without them. We need them. And so they get this attitude that they are better than us. And it's promoted because the people they take now in law enforcement are educated. I mean, they've already gone through the system. They've learned that many people have the authority over you. When you go to college, the professor has the authority over you. Everybody's got the authority over you. So they're teaching you that everybody's got the authority over you. You need a license, you need a permit, you need somebody's approval before you can do anything, because you're so stupid you can't think for yourself. So, and that's what they teach, and that's what they like in law enforcement. It seems like they want people that take orders, and that's why they take a lot of military people. Because military, that's what they're trained. They're trained to take orders. And now, see, that's even, I don't know if it's different. I just think the people are different. Because, I was in the Marines, and we were trained to take orders, but we were trained to give orders. We were trained to take responsibility for our moves, our actions. So this is something we just kind of, but now they even want the military, and even when I was in, they try to tell you, well, you can't shoot. We're supposed to radio in and ask permission to shoot. And that's why a lot of, especially old military people, have a bad attitude, is because we know what to do and when to do it. And the time you waste asking for permission, lives are on the line. So we make these decisions ourselves. We don't need a book of rules and policy. But like I say, it is needed because now they're worried about being sued. And so if we do it this way, then we won't be sued. We're not really protecting people, but we're protecting ourselves. And we can't really serve people because we'll be sued. So we'll just, make sure we get our pensions, and we'll do what we have to do to get through this. So serve and protect has changed in meaning, and now not everybody is like that, but the system is like that. And if you are in law enforcement and military, they don't expect you to use morals and values. We're going to talk more about that. But they don't expect you to, they don't want you to. They just want you to do what you're told. And matter of fact, that's the same thing that applies for big business. They want you to do what you're told. They want a company man. They want you to think of the company first. That's it. Don't use your morals and values. The company comes first. So this all falls under serve and protect. They serve, not us. And they serve themselves. They protect, not us. They protect themselves or the institution that they're in. So serve and protect has had another meaning. Personal responsibility. Okay. Personal responsibility means when you do something, you take the responsibility for it. One thing that I notice, communists, they have no idea what personal responsibility is. When I was in Cuba, you want something, anytime you ask permission, it's going to be no. And the reason they tell you no is if they said yes, they just took personal responsibility over telling you yes. And so that's why everybody says no. Now, it's kind of like that in the United States. You ask for something, they're going to tell you no. Can I start this business? No. Nobody wants, everybody's going to say no. The only way they're going to let you do anything is if you get the proper certificates, the proper license, the proper anything. It doesn't make any difference. In other words, they don't want to take the personal responsibility by telling you, yes, go right ahead. And that type of thinking has continued on in our society. This is why this once great nation of ours has gone to hell. People do not take personal responsibility. I mentioned the three-man militia. That is three people coming together, learning to take personal responsibility over whatever it is that the three-man militia is about. Gardening. They're learning to take responsibility, personal responsibility for that garden. Nobody else is going to come in there and work that garden. They're learning to take that responsibility. And once you learn personal responsibility, now you will become a stronger person. And that's what I mentioned earlier about strong individuals coming together. You can't be strong if you don't know how to take personal responsibility. Personal responsibility is a big thing. We would rather say, he told me, or my wife won't let me. You know what I mean? These are all signs of weakness. These are all signs that you're not going to take, you don't know how to take personal responsibility. What it is, and that's why the bureaucrats, that's why they got so many rules, then none of them want to take the responsibility. If you've done all the rules, well then they'll say yes. But they're not taking any responsibility. You did. You did everything that you had to do it. They can't say no. They're not taking any responsibility. So the bureaucrats, they don't take any kind of personal responsibility. And same thing with our politicians. Well, I voted for this. I wanted this to happen, and all this kind of stuff. They say all that, but then they sell you out. City planners, county commissioners, it doesn't make any difference. None of these people take personal responsibility over their actions. None of them stand for anything. They're all weak. Personal responsibility. Focus. Do it. And I'll tell you, it's, for me, I'm 65 years old. It's no big deal for me. I've had many years of practice. I started on a little stuff, and I've worked my way up. And see, now they don't even teach the children to take personal responsibility. It's always that poor child. That poor child. He wasn't brought up right. No! And that's when I'll say that in some of my videos. I say we all have crosses to bear. I don't give a damn about your sad story. I've got sad stories like everybody else does. You don't use those for a crutch. Take personal responsibility. Right or wrong, take the responsibility. You will learn whatever. If you were wrong, you will learn and you'll do better next time. If you were right, it becomes habit forming. Being right, taking personal responsibility.